join them for their first time on the front line. 100 miles away in the West Midlands, another raw emergency service recruit is finding her fate. Rookie paramedic Kelly Wilkes has already attended 2 road traffic collisions.
Have you got any pain anywhere at the moment?
Now her second shift beckons. Kelly's career with the West Midlands Ambulance Service began in September 2013 with a training course to prepare her for active service. She was joined on the course by her best friend Abby Collins. They met while studying paramedic science at uni.
We've gone through our whole training together, the 2 years, and now it's just fantastic that we've got to do the induction and we're going to be colleagues in West Midlands.
The same service, yeah, it's really good, isn't it?
Kelly and Abby had been assigned to different ambulance stations, so it was nice to spend some time together before their careers began in earnest.
So we've got the SD elevation but no TQ wave. So what did we say about time frame?
Less than a day.
So between 1 and 4 hours normally.
On the 6-week course, Kelly, Abby and the other new recruits were trained in clinical technique,
Popping on loosely to start with.
personal safety,
When I now try and resist with my arms, I've got no wriggle room.
driving skills
You're quite late on your vision there because you could look right over that river hedge.
and medical equipment,
We're looking at working on these vehicles that you see just behind me.
all in preparation for their first shifts as real paramedics.
It'd be taking everything I've learned and going out and doing it all then for myself. I didn't think I could do it, but then here I am.
A week later, and Kelly's paramedic career is underway. She's just started her second shift alongside experienced colleague Ben Crown. They're responding to a 999 about an elderly man who's had a bad fall.
The patient sat at 87%, and he's got a heart rate of 240.
A blood oxygen level of 87% is dangerously low, and that's not the only concern.
The patient's got a very high heart rate, that's why we've speeded up a little bit.
The most challenging patients for rookie paramedics are the very young and the very old. This casualty's 82.
Hello.
Hello.
My name's Kelly.
Hello,
I'm a
Kelly.
paramedic from the ambulance service.
The patient, Roy, has mobility issues and was due to go to hospital to be fitted with an orthopaedic shoe. But when the transport arrived, he fell over. Kelly tries to find out exactly what happened before she begins treatment.
I was getting changed, ready for going to the hospital. I was sitting on my favourite chair and I thought I saw the ambulance. I got up and, because I did it too quickly.
Kelly monitors Roy's heart and checks his blood pressure. And he's diabetic, so she's going to measure his blood sugars too, to make sure he isn't hypoglycemic.
Oh,
That didn't hurt. I don't believe that, Al.
Roy's blood sugars are fine, and his heart tracing and blood pressure indicate his condition has stabilised in the short time the paramedics have been here.
And definitely no new pain
No.
in your legs.
no.
Ben and Kelly want to get Roy up to see if his observations remain stable, but he's frail and needs to be lifted carefully.
All I want you to do is just sit yourself up. Keep your feet on the ground. Okay. Up you come. Bend in the middle for me, Roy.
I'm very heavy.
So far, so good. Roy's legs are supporting his weight, a positive sign.
Hold on to me if you need to.
I'll hold on to something.
Grab me little vandals.
That's it.
That's it, look.
Do you come here often?
Oh boy, you're a charmer.
She may be new to the job, but Kelly has already developed a lovely manner with her patients.
How you feeling now you're off the floor, Roy?
Oh, much better, thank you.
It's good.
I didn't feel too bad down there. Actually, if the wife kicks me out, I know where to sleep now.
Getting back up hasn't caused any problems. Roy's heart rate and blood pressure are still fine.
Couldn't cut my fingernails while you're there, could you?
Do you think I am?
I just thought I'd ask.
As a young man in the armed services, Roy was fit and strong. But now it's a different story. Kelly and Ben think he should avoid the stress of a trip to A&E.
Everything we've done is fine, and being honest with you, the hospital aren't going to do much more than what we've done.
No.
So obviously your options are you either stay here or we take you up to the hospital.
I'll stay here.
You stay here.
Roy's GP will be informed about his fall. He'll keep a close eye on him for the next few days.
Thank you very much.
People think it is about the emergency side, the trauma, the blood and the gore and everything, but it's actually not. A lot of it is giving patients support, advice, treating them at home if we can. A chat and company, especially in elderly people, it goes a long way. And a lot of the time that's all they want.
Back in Birmingham, rookie paramedic Kelly's on a break. She's getting advice from experienced colleague Ben on what to keep in her locker.
Definitely a spare uniform.
Sewer clothes, yeah. And towels, just in case.
In case you need to have a wash at work. Because it will happen eventually.
Have you had to before?
Yeah.
Like, what was the job that
The
you've
patient
been on?
vomit all over me.
Oh, lovely.
Yeah. All of my hair, all of my face, my hands,
Really?
everywhere. Yeah, it was horrible.
Oh my gosh.
Had to have a shower at work.
Their break is brought to an abrupt end by a red alert.
Major trauma, child versus car.
4102.
The car landed on the car, it hit the windscreen which has shattered it.
It's the sort of call paramedics hate.
Child versus car.
Road accidents are the biggest single killer of children in Britain. Over 2,000 boys and girls are killed or seriously injured each year. Kelly was dreading a case like this so early in her career.
This is quite a serious job, major trauma potentially. So we'll assess the situation more when we get there.
We're here.
Are we? Already?
Yeah.
The police clear the way for the ambulance. Just a week ago in training, Kelly was doing trauma role plays. Now it's for real. The 6-year-old boy is called Hadis. He's badly injured.
Oh gosh. We kind of need people to clear out of the way.
A local GP was nearby when Hadis was hit. He's trying to stabilise him.
Can I have a quick handover from somebody?
Well, I'm the GP. He's hit this car.
Yeah.
He hit the back window.
Yeah.
Fell on the floor.
Okay.
He's got a broken jaw, definitely.
Broken jaw.
Bleeding into the airway.
Yeah.
Airway stable at the moment.
Kelly needs to put a cervical collar onto Hadis. If his neck's broken and he moves his head, he could be paralysed.
Right, if I can...
He's kind of waxing and waning as well. He's probably got a head injury too.
182, reference our current details.
Ben updates control.
Believed to have been projected into the back of another vehicle. Confirmed large laceration to his head and confirmed broken jaw. Currently collar and boarding the child. We will be leaving as soon as possible, over.
But there's a problem. Hadis is wedged under a car. And that's not the only concern.
I think there's a leg as well.
There's a leg fracture as well. Okay.
I think he's not moving it and it's swollen.
The police have found the driver of the car trapping Hadis. He's about to move it.
Backwards, please. Keep going, keep going. Away.
Keep going
away.
back. Right.
Right. Bring this in closer.
Hadis's leg is badly broken and the fracture has compacted. The buckled bone needs to be pulled apart to reduce his pain.
You're going to have to apply manual traction to that leg.
Okay. All right. Right.
Okay. You have to pull your leg, mate.
All right.
I've got it.
Okay. Excellent, well done.
Kelly's successfully applied traction and straightened his leg. Now he can be moved onto the board. But they have to be careful not to cause any more damage to his fragile body.
1, 2, 3.
Oh, can we come up a little bit?
Up a bit as well.
Good man, well done, matey.
Drops, please.
How's his airway looking?
Airway's looking fine.
Suddenly, a worrying development. Hadis has fallen unconscious. That could indicate a serious brain injury.
Harris?
Ben tries to rouse him.
Iris.
Harris?
Iris. Iris, open your eyes for me. Iris.
We need to get going.
All right, mate.
It's good news. Hadis has come round. The next challenge, moving him onto the ambulance. Kelly needs to continue straightening his shattered leg as he's carried. No easy task.
What we're going to do, we're going to lift him up away from the car, turn him around so his head is facing that way, load him onto our wagon. All right? Okay, on lift, ready, steady, lift.
Doing ever so well, matey. Well done. Wow, here we are.
All right, pal.
Before they set off, Kelly and Ben want to get some painkillers into Hadis. It's going to be a bumpy journey.
At this moment in time, child is collared and placed in a scoop stretcher, and my colleague is applying manual traction. The doctor who's on scene is an ex-anaesthetist, now GP, and he's travelling with us to provide support. Over.
The nearest trauma centre is 20 minutes away, and it's the middle of rush hour. But Hadis needs potentially life-saving treatment fast. His parents have been notified and will meet him at the hospital. In the back of the ambulance, Kelly's put Hadis on a drip to maintain his fluids, and they work hard to keep him awake.
Harris, that's it, well done. Keep your eyes open for me, mate. That's it.
Kelly's treatment has worked. Hadis's condition has stabilised.
Look where we are.
We're at the hospital now. Mummy's going to be waiting.
All right, well done.
The 6-year-old doesn't want to let go of Kelly's hand.
Oh, he's got hold of my finger.
The specialist trauma team is ready and waiting. Hadis is in good hands. It was a tough challenge so early in her career, but Kelly rose to it.
Second day out, and dealing with a pediatric major trauma and dealing with it so well is something that you can be really proud of, and you did really, really well. Be happy to work with you again.
Good, good. Woo! That's an invite right there.
Kelly's shift is over. She preps the ambulance for the next crew on duty. It's a chance to reflect.
We have potentially saved his life. You do feel proud of yourself. You feel like you've accomplished something, and you feel like all the problems I've encountered through being at uni and USAs, it's all paid off on that one job when you've been able to make a difference to somebody's life.
Time to go home. Roy is now feeling much better. He's had his orthopaedic shoe fitted, and it's made a big difference to his mobility. And 6-year-old Hadis is now enjoying life at home after a long spell in hospital. Doctors are delighted with his progress, and he's expected to make a full recovery.